So often that their faces are as familiar to the public as presidents and movie stars. They are the Dallas Cowboys, America's team.
He didn't like being called America's team.
Tom found it unseemly to stand on a stage and scream, "Look at me," was not who he was.
Tom Landry and General Manager Tex Schramm were partners for 29 years, but it was Schramm's glitzy vision for America's team that sparked their only serious disagreement.
Dad didn't particularly like it because he felt like we had painted a target on our back, you know.
Other teams come after you much stronger than they've ever come, because if you win the Super Bowl, you are the measuring stick.
We want Dallas! Dallas! We hate you!
Listen, they're a bunch of damn front runners, and let's come back at them. That's all they get for the rest of the afternoon.
It made it tough on us when we'd go to other places. We didn't care. We were going to beat them all anyway.
Some were heard to mumble that all the theatrical razzle-dazzle is threatening to swallow the sport whole, and it's show business first, football second.
Here come the cheerleaders out. They have to go practice 2 or 3 hours every night, and after that they go out to a disco and sit around and drink till about 4 in the morning.
When Schramm added professional...
Well, good Sunday afternoon, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this is not working. It's not working. I'm telling you, it does not work without you guys. So make sure you guys are here. I don't know what you got on your game plan for today. This Sunday without football. Me, I'm happy to be up and about and moving a little bit better on my leg. And one of the things the doctor told me to do is make sure that you do some moving around, because you don't want to get blood clots. And so I'm taking it easy. I'm actually doing something that I truly love. And that's, of course, building some stuff. And what better way spend some time building some stuff than with the NFL Network and a football life on right now, talking about the Dallas Cowboys and Tom Landry. It's amazing. Let me go back for a second here. I got to tell you that I am ecstatic because of, let me pause this for a second. I'm ecstatic because Washington, for the first time in a long time, has actually come to life. That their fan base are actually being vocal right now and believing that they are a great team. Because, see, you have to understand where I came from. Back in the day, it was the Cowboys and Washington were the two great teams. And what they used to fight for was the chances of going to Super Bowls. Somehow, we've all lost all of that in the last 25, 30 years, that rivalry. See, I grew up on that. I grew up on my dad and my uncles and my cousins and everything else, that football Sunday used to mean something, okay? It wasn't just the game. It was the buildup of all week, the trash talking and thing, the locker room bullboard material, all of the stuff that was great to talk about. It wasn't just the game on Sunday. It was everything that led up to the game on Sunday that made football great. And sitting here watching a football life, the amazing thing about Tom Landry was an innovator. I've often gone through and I've killed Jason Garrett because I look at the era of Jason Garrett being our head coach, and you don't remember too many things that were innovations that you could point to and say, yeah, that Jason Garrett, he's crafty. He came up with the blank to blank. Now, that doesn't mean that everything that Tom Landry came up with was great. We had the flex defense that was incredible, where he took a guy who was supposed to be a linebacker, who wasn't real good at it, and Randy White, and made him a defensive tackle. They took a guy who was a cornerback, and Charlie Waters, who was getting beat like a redheaded stepchild, and made him a safety. But he also took Craig Morton and Roger Staubach and had them alternating plays because his thought was, we'll confuse the defense. And here it is. Could you imagine that today? That the quarterback would do a play, that Dak would do a play, and then Andy Dalton would come in and do a play? Hell no, you can't imagine that. That would be crazy. That didn't work too long and didn't last for too long. But they were constantly trying to figure out something new, a new wrinkle or something that would give them an advantage. I kind of see, in a way, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm reading into it, maybe I'm having too much hype, that's what the Cowboys are trying to do now with all of these different players, where we have tweeners, we have linebackers that are slash safeties and so forth, that they're looking for different ways to get advantages against the competition. But more than anything else, back to my original premise of Cowboys and Washington. Some of y'all think that I get pissed off about the trolls that are coming in. You know, they come in, they mess up the live stream, they're Cowboy haters and things. Quite frankly, I don't hate them at all. What that brings me to, like when I talk with my cousin Daniel, who is a Washington fan and has been his whole life. When we talk trash, you know, about, you know, how bad the Skins are, or excuse me, the Washington football team is, or how the Cowboys ain't done anything for 25 years, and I say Washington ain't done anything for 30 years, and get on each other, to me, that's the greatest thing in the world, man. That's my dad, back in the day, known as Cowboy Ty, at the post office, where he was one of like 3 Cowboy fans amongst thousands of Washington fans, and that every week, you know, the Washington fans look for him so that way they can gamble, put a little money on the game, and talk smack. And when the Cowboys won, the phone did not ring. Cowboys lost to Washington, man, that phone was ringing off the hook. That phone was melting. And that was the great thing about football and the rivalries. And maybe, in some regards, that's my hesitation with fantasy football. With fantasy football, you put aside that whole they're my enemy deal. And I think about all that trash talking from the Washington fans that would happen. And it wasn't necessarily hate, but it wasn't exactly love either. You get my drift? And maybe I'm just crazy and old fool or whatever you want to call it. But it was truly a different era. But I love that now Washington fans are coming to life, because there's nothing sweeter than have the NFL season where the Washington fans start having hope. They start getting excited about the team, and they think that they're going to be great. And then we go to it and kick that ass. That's what football's really about, at least to me. Shout out to all you Washington fans out there that are believing in your team, that are making some noise, that are getting vocal and all that, that are getting excited about Ryan Fitzpatrick. I still don't get that one, but I'll deal with that one later. I cannot wait for this football season to get here. It can't get here soon enough. Because this, my friends, this trash talking that the Washington fans are doing makes me feel young again. Hope you guys are having a great Sunday. I'm going to go back to a football life with Tom Landry. Back when football was football.
Games, Ryder turned to leave, and then he stopped and said, well, if I came back, would you let me call plays? And Tom looked up and said, no, we have a system here.
The system was successful before me. It'll be successful without me. Of course, the nuts and bolts of the Dallas Cowboys is Amanda wears a funny hat on the sidelines.
They lose Roger Staubach. You know what they did the next 3 years? They went to the championship game. Every year. Some of that's Danny White. A lot of it's the system.
Landry may have had a jaw of granite, but not a heart of stone.
People thought, well, he's cold-hearted, he can just cut guys in, he brings them in. You know, you're no longer a Cowboy. No, it hurt him. I watched him break down and cry when we cut a player.
Ken Hutchinson was a linebacker and a good player. When you cut him, he stood at that podium and cried. He said, I had to let it go of a friend today. And tears just coming down his face.
Guys who I know for a fact didn't like playing for him, didn't like him because he was too strict, too cold, too detached.
What happened, Johnny?
After they were done playing for him. Talked about him like he was their father.
You know, I had a feeling for him that similar to someone, similar to a father image.
He had a bigger impact on me than my father.
Okay. You know, it's like your father. You wanted to please him, and when he was disappointed in you, you felt that. You didn't just feel it peripherally, you felt that inside.
Landry was not as stoic as he appeared. He cared about his players, and occasionally it showed. Like when Drew Pearson almost lost his life in a car accident.
One look at Drew Pearson's car would indicate that he was lucky to be alive.
I lost my brother in the accident, and I'm fighting for my life. But every time I opened my eyes, there was 3 people I would always see. One was Harvey Martin, my best friend. The other was Roger Staubach, my quarterback. And the third person that shocked me was Tom Landry.
The loss of his brother and the responsibility felt, it's just really a pretty tough thing to have.
This was a time where we were about to go into a mini camp. He was there throughout the whole time. Didn't even coach the mini camp. I did not know he felt that way about me because he never showed it. But then again, that's the man.
When Thomas Henderson marked 10 years of being drug-free, he caught a glimpse of the man behind the mask.
Well, it came to my 10-year anniversary.
Oh, I forgot to end this. Sorry, guys. I got a couple more of these to put together. Then I'm going to go ice my knee. I'll see you soon.